Saw someone's post that said, "Hey Christians, instead of banning abortions, why don't you just offer thoughts and prayers for them?"
Alright guys, here we go again. Welcome back to another video. I'm still just floating around on X and I'm finding clip after clip after clip after clip. It just seems to be never ending right now. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it.
A friend called me the other day in tears because she was harassed by a physician who was purposefully misgendering her. The distress that trans people feel when there's intentional and willful misgendering and disrespect for our preferred name and pronouns is something that we have to talk about. Studies and scientists have proven that preferred name and pronouns lead to better mental health outcomes, which is why it isn't just some political preference, it is a health issue. Those who decide to purposefully misgender someone else are purposefully choosing to harm someone else. Please, let's think about this. It's not a political issue, it's a health issue.
Today is August 30th. That is my birthday. I don't tell you that because I want attention. I tell you that to say if it happens today, if we find out today, this will be my personality forever.
This is your official invite to join the Trans World Organization, or TWO. Our members will secretly join conservative spaces on social media and help show them and their children the beauty of transitioning. To join, just add the 2 fingers emoji to your username, and that's how you'll signify that you're a member. I hope you all join and look forward to the first task coming soon.
Hey, quick reminder, if you're defending guns in any way after children are killed with guns, you're a bad person. Hope that helps.
This is just a friendly reminder that if you're a Trump supporter, you can't celebrate Labor Day because the majority of his supporters are uneducated and on government assistance and don't work.
Since we have decided to make our account public, I am going to introduce myself. Hello, I am Banshee. I do not have any pronouns. I do not have a gender. I am not a human. I have been called the embodiment of female rage, which I completely identify with. I am not female, however. Although I do believe I wouldn't exist if we weren't AFAB.
You know, comments like this are how we all know that you guys don't actually care about people. Like you don't care about people. You are a contrarian and you are hateful and you want an outlet for that. That's all that matters to you, okay? Like trans people is a perfect example, okay? Let's say we have a trans person right here. You have the left and you have the right, okay? The left is like, hey, we should support this person in their identity and make sure that they can live a normal life like everybody else. Like let's just treat them like people. And then you have the right who wants to demonize and dehumanize them at every turn relentlessly for years and years and years. But then if that person commits an act of violence, it's the left's fault. The people who are trying to support them and normalize them, it's not the right's fault for relentlessly bullying them. Right, okay. Imagining that's how your brain works, right? So then let's think about like the actual statistics of who mass shooters are. Okay, so if my number is correct, it's about 6,000 mass shootings in like modern American history. Okay, that's a lot. I believe this is the 4th committed by a trans person. And most of them, I believe like 5,000 plus at least, have been committed by cis men. But I'm imagining you probably didn't get on Facebook or TikTok or whatever and make comments about what's going on with cis men, right? But the second it's a trans person, maybe, who commits a crime, you post shit like this, right? So you don't care about people. You obviously don't care about these kids because it doesn't matter whether this person was trans or not, whether they was a man or a woman. It doesn't matter what race they were. It doesn't matter whether they were documented or undocumented. The kids are dead. And so us on the left are like, hey, how do we stop getting these kids killed? And this is what you guys do. It's disgusting, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Well, you see, young lady, let me try and explain this to you here because it doesn't really take that much to truly figure out. This is coming from a cis white man, and I'm going to come out here and try and clear this up for you. We're not blaming all these school shootings on transgenders. That's not what's going on. It just seems to be more of a pattern as of late, and it is more than 4. There's a few where they've tried to suppress it, but I mean, the internet's forever, time does tell, leaks do happen. We're closer to about 10 since I believe 2015. But that is beyond the point, because what you're pointing out here, there's about 6,000 mass shootings in American history that's been recorded down, and majority of them are cis white men. Okay, there is other demographics that we can look at that have much more higher statistics when it does come to gun violence, but if we're just gonna go with mass shootings here, what I'm willing to bet here, and this is the issue, you're actually kind of proving our point when it comes to the left, when it comes to liberals. You're trying to normalize this. Now, I know you all think that we're trying to demonize people that are trans. That's not what's going on here at all, but we're not trying to normalize it either. Are we trying to say that, hey, they can't live in society, they can't just have human rights like we all do? Absolutely not. That's not what we mean here at all. But should I have my sanity infringed upon because somebody wants to believe that there's something that they're not, and if I don't abide by their fantasy, I'm looked at the person who's hateful? Sorry, that's not how it works. You got to live your life on the path of truth. You want to look at it like you're being an ally and you're out here trying to defend these people. Okay, that's great. But the truth is you're not. You're only furthering what would be a long-term life of pain. Nobody can truly be something that they are not. And by you telling them that yes, you can, you're completely normal, is being very dishonest, and you're not helping them in the long run. If there's a man who feels feminine and he wants to be a woman, okay, go out and dress like a woman. But don't expect the rest of the world to treat you as a woman. There's a man that works at my local Walmart that dresses up as a woman. He's obviously a transgender woman. Not the most convincing one, but I'm always still very nice to this individual, and I avoid at all costs by referring to him as a he or a her. I just try and stay polite that way, because this person has not overstepped any boundary towards me. I'm not going to overstep any boundary towards them. But here I go getting myself sidetracked again. We're talking about mass shootings. I'm willing to bet if somebody can put together all the statistics, all the data, if we compiled it all together, and if we can see, do they politically lean left or right? Do their ideologies match up more with a liberal or a conservative? Even if they're not political individuals, but just their worldview, do they line more that way or that way? And I'm willing to bet, again, just my opinion here, YouTube, that it would definitely be towards the left. Statistically speaking, from other studies and polls that have been done in the past, mental illness skyrockets on the left compared to people on the right. That is the issue here when it comes to mass shootings, is people that are not mentally well. How else do you justify it? Are you guys really trying to say that it's people that don't have a mental illness that pick up a weapon and go into a room and just erase everybody? That person does not have a mental illness? You can't really make that argument now, can you? It comes down to mental illness. And sorry, but when it comes to the transgender community, they kind of get grouped in there. Anybody that thinks that there's something that they're not obviously has a screw or two a little bit loose. Does that mean that they can't function in everyday society? No, that's not what it means at all. But whether you're a man that thinks you're a woman, or if you're just a cis white man, I'm willing to bet your ideology leans a little bit more on over that way. And it comes down to mental illness. It comes down to antipsychotic medications. It comes down to anxiety. It comes down to depression. I'm also willing to bet that any mass shooter that's been on the right, if we're to look into their medical history, they're probably people that have went to therapy and people that have been overly medicated. So instead of all of you on the left, all worried about people on the right misgendering the shooter and all that other type of stuff, about us trying to put the spotlight on the transgender community over this, that's not what the issue is here. That's not what we're trying to accomplish. What we're trying to point out, what we've always tried to point out, when it comes to a situation like this, when it occurs, it comes down to the shooter had a mental illness. This is what needs to be addressed.
Can you imagine dying? Like being so sick that you're actively dying, and the entire world is on pins and needles with anticipation. With their champagne chilling, their glasses on ice. The sheer giddiness I have seen online in the past, like 12 hours. It's fucking hilarious. And just imagine that you're dying and you know the entire world is planning the party.
You want to know what's wrong with this country? Emotionally unstable men who just want to have control and power over everything, including our bodies. Men are the problem in this country.
The Minneapolis shooter was trans. Great. Shouldn't have had access to a semi-automatic assault weapon. Democrats tried to ban them. Republicans said no. Democrats gerrymander too. I wish they didn't have to. I wish they didn't. Democrats tried to pass a nationwide ban on gerrymandering. Republicans said no. Democrats might be in the Epstein files. Great. Lock them the fuck up. Republicans won't release the files. I want the bad things gone regardless of who gets in trouble.
My wife's so distant lately, we have no intimate connection. Go clean the bathroom. Instead of sitting in there an extra 15 minutes on your phone, clean the bathroom. Schedule the doctor's appointment for the kids. And then bring the kid to the doctor's appointment when it comes. Get her coffee right one time without her asking. Stop being a little bitch.
Rumor online is that Donald Trump is dead right now, and I genuinely do not think that I can go to bed tonight until I know that Donald Trump is dead or not. Like, I am more excited than when we had, like, the fucking elections, and when we had the other elections, when we were trying not to. Oddly enough, one of the most affirming things for me is when when people get, like, physically confused, like, their voice quivers when they're talking to me. I had a customer today, and I was asking her a question. She responds, she goes, yes, Mr.
Okay, so nobody else wants to talk about it. I will. Disclaimer, I'm not condoning violence in any form, fashion, or way. But just trying to find a motive or figure out why Robin did what she did in Minnesota is not that difficult. When you have someone who their existence has been villainized and demonized, when their own LGB community has erased the T. It was a church where she attended school. Were there shame circles? What was faced in that school and in that church? Those are things we'll never know. But the reason this happened is not hard to figure out when you push a person past the breaking point. And who caused this? The people of this country caused this. The hate and division and the demonization of the transgender community caused this. It's not hard to see. Take care, friends.
Okay, that was some good theatrics right there. She really put on the whole, like, the soft voice, really trying to get emotional with the music in the background and all. Really good theatrics there, but she's not being honest here. What this is somebody who's obviously part of the LGBTQ community. Don't know what this person identifies at or not. I mean, I can kind of take a guess by visually looking, but this person's whole goal when she hit record was to take the spotlight off of them. And you're not addressing the real problem. Once again, we're gonna have to say it over and over and over. Climb up to one of those hills and just scream it off. It comes down to mental illness. Now, where she's kind of heading in the right direction is when she says, who are to blame? The people of this country. But she's looking at the wrong people. She's trying to say this all comes down to people that are throwing hate at them and the people that are bullying them. Yes, hate and bullying can drive somebody over the edge. But who's the people that tried to normalize these young individuals and put them into positions that they're in the first place by making them think you can be whatever you want to be? That comes down to you people on the left, majority of you on the left, the ones that truly believe that a man can be a woman, that a trans woman is just as much of a woman as a biological woman. You're sitting there looking somebody in the eyes and you're lying to them to affirm their feelings, to try and validate that feeling that they have in their stomach, that they can truly be the opposite gender from which they were born. You're not being honest with these people. It doesn't mean that they can't exist. It doesn't mean that they can't go out and identify as a woman as they want to, but stop making people feel like they have to go along with it. We don't have to cosplay. If they want to cosplay, they can. There would be no hate, there would be no bullying, but the fact that you put everybody else in a corner, you're not giving anybody else a choice. How do you think young girls feel when a man walks into their bathroom wearing a wig and a little bit of lipstick, and they gotta be stuck with this man in their bathroom because if not, they look like they're bigots? Do you guys not give a shit about the other side of the playing field whatsoever? Or are we just going to keep pandering to the mentally ill people? It's a very, very easy situation for everybody to be able to live together without any issues. It's simple. There's 3 categories. You have man, you have woman, you have those that are in the middle. When it comes to, like, say, for instance, bathrooms, okay, you have like a unisex bathroom. If you're a man that feels comfortable walking into that bathroom, whoever else is in there should feel comfortable with you being in there. But if somebody wants to be just amongst their own, if a woman wants to go into a bathroom where there's only other women, they should absolutely have that right. And the same thing when it comes to sports. Why on earth does a man think it's okay to compete in women's sports? If that's the situation, if a trans woman is truly a woman and should be competing in women's sports, how come trans men are not competing in men's sports? You see what we're getting at here? It comes down to, if you guys really want everybody to all get along, level out the playing field. Make it fair for everybody. Stop pandering just towards the one community so you guys can all appear to be inclusive. Not wanting to hurt one person's feeling over here is hurting somebody else's feelings over here. You guys have messed this all up. You guys have handled this all incorrectly. We left it in control of the liberals, left it in control of people on the left, and you guys completely screwed it up. Do you guys think that there's no transgender conservatives? Do you guys truly believe this? Because there is. The difference is they're a little bit more in touch with reality. They don't truly believe that they are the opposite gender of which they are. They may want to be a woman, they may dress up as a woman, but I'm willing to bet that chances are they still go into the men's bathroom if they're by themselves in a shopping center. You far leftists have tried to normalize this. You tried to take a mental illness and assimilate it into society as if it's completely normal and everybody should just look that way and forget about what's really going on here. No, if you take society out of a state of normalcy, it's never really gonna work out well. You guys kind of had it your way for the past couple of years. It really didn't work out well whatsoever, so we're kind of reeling it back and saying, all right, let's try this again. And if that's not good enough for you guys, I really don't know what to tell you. But stop making up excuses for mentally ill individuals, transgender or not. If somebody picks up a firearm and walks into a school or a church and opens fire on children, that person is mentally ill. Doesn't matter if they're wearing a dress or if they're wearing a pair of jeans. That's a situation that needs to be attended to.
Your goddamn party believes that trans people don't exist. So I'm using your own fucking logic and applying it to this motherfucking situation, and that's not good enough for you either? Wow. Surprise, sir motherfucking prize. I know what the problem is. I know why this keeps happening. Do you? Do you? Because you're not fucking mad. Do you know what I think at this motherfucking point? I'm just gonna be real fucking frank. I think that Republicans love to see children unalived in their fucking school. Prove me wrong, bitch.
I just realized that when we do all get that big, beautiful obituary, he's gonna get what he always wanted. A worldwide celebration in his name that everyone's happy about. So come on, man. You want that worldwide celebration in your name everyone's happy about? We want the big, beautiful obituary.
I pledge allegiance to the transgender, anti-colonial, cis-normativity disrupting, radical self-determinating flag of the United States of America, which will soon be known as the Strategic Alliance of Sovereign Socialist States of America when Bernie Sanders becomes president. And to the republic for which it stands, one intersectional queer collective under self-actualization, indivisible, with equity, authenticity, and liberation for all gender expressions.
What they all have in common? was they were cis white males. They were not trans. 98% were not trans. Nice try, though.
Apparently one of the side effects of one of the medication I used to take is breast cancer. And I was like, oh no, what if I have breast cancer?
This is just your friendly reminder. If you cut someone off in your life because they voted for Trump, don't feel bad. Like, if they try to make you feel weird about that, that's not weird. That's normal. Just like grounding you and reminding you that that's like a totally okay thing to do.
Can we stop acting like every single shooting in America is the gun's fault? Oh my God. Listen, today we had a shooting happen in Minneapolis at a Catholic church. 2 people are dead, 17 are injured, and every fucking TikTok I have come across so far is like, we need more gun reform. We need to prevent people from having guns. Nobody should have guns. Are you people fucking mental? Are you mental? Because I know the fucking transvestite that fucking shot the school up was fucking mental. I know they're mental. It is not a gun problem. It is a mental health crisis in America because we've allowed all of these mentally ill fucking people who identify as cats, transgender, I'm a mouse. All these fucking people, we've sat here and we've coddled them and we've coddled them and we've coddled them and we've told them they're normal and they fit into to society. Like, I'm fucking stuttering because I'm so pissed off about this shit. Here, I'll give you a perfect fucking example as to why banning guns all over the fucking world wouldn't work. Because criminals can get their hands on anything. Is fentanyl legal in the United States? Is cocaine legal in the United States? How about methamphetamines or crack? Is crack legal in America? No! None of it is fucking legal. But what do we still have? Crackheads, meth heads, drug dealers. So you tell me, America, you tell me, leftists, all of you people with all of these fucking answers to the shit that you don't understand, you tell me, if I sit here and get rid of all of the guns, do you think the criminals won't have a way to bring them over the borders or bring them in from different countries or buy them on the dark web? It's not a gun problem, America. Wake the fuck up. This is a mental health problem, and we need to get to the bottom of it. This isn't fucking, we need to sit here and be at each other's throats, left, right, blue, green. This is, we have a problem in America. Enough with the fucking rainbows. Enough with the sunshine. Enough with the cover-up. We need real healing in America. And the only fucking way we're gonna get to that point is if everybody stops acting like we're all put together and starts talking about the real shit we have going on in this country. Nobody can afford a fucking thing. Everybody's outraged. We have people walking around thinking they're fucking cats. We have people walking around living for free off of welfare. We have real reasons people are losing their fucking minds in America. And you guys just want to keep acting like the little thing matters. Take the guns away. When the guns are gone and people are still going into schools and killing people, then fucking what's your excuse gonna be?
Okay, that was a little bit longer of a clip than I normally would play for you guys, but he's absolutely correct. His message may have been harsh, it may have been very blunt and direct, kind of the way I like it, but that should be able to fall on anybody's ears and completely make sense, because it's what he's saying is true. Ban all the weapons. Do you guys honestly not think that people are still going to get their hands on them? People know how to laser print weapons at this point. Again, I've said it before, any government that advocates to disarm their citizens, it doesn't usually end out in a good way. Look at any other country that's disarmed themselves and look at the state that they're in afterwards, usually 15 to 20 years later. They're not really doing too well. But the point is here, he absolutely nails it. It's a mental health crisis. No matter how much we scream it from the hilltops, nobody wants to actually address this. Anybody who leans left is like, oh no, that's all those Republicans and conservatives say. It comes down to mental health, mental health, mental health. Well, yeah, you guys kind of don't want to admit that there's a very strong mental health crisis that leans a little bit more to the left than it does to the right. But anybody that commits an act like this has something wrong in their brain, whether they're transgender or not. Now really think about this, because you guys will come out and say, well, when it comes to the transgender community, only 2% of violent crimes are actually committed by the transgender community. When the transgender community makes up 1% of the entire population, that's pretty damn high. How does 1% accumulate 2% of all violent crime? I mean, do the math here. They double the percentage of violent crime than they have in population. So say, for instance, hypothetically, guys, if the United States of America, if the liberals had their way, and everybody became transgender, so you had a 100% transgender population, what you're saying with these statistics that you guys are so proud of, they only commit 2% of the crimes, they would commit by then 200% of the crimes, which doesn't even mathematically make sense at that point. What we're saying here is there seems to be violent tendencies, and it's not just because they're trans, that's just a mental illness that's on full display for everybody to see. There's many other people out there that have a mental illness. They just don't identify as trans. But each and every single person that picked up a weapon and committed a mass shooting 100% of the time is a mentally ill person. There's no escaping this. Disarming your citizens, absolutely not the answer. It's funny because when I found this clip on X, the way how the guy labeled it before I even hit play, it says, this young kid is smarter than every single leftist TikToker combined. He's absolutely correct. All right, guys, that is it for this one. If you guys are new to the channel, not subscribed as of yet, please consider doing it. If not, you can like the video, share the video, interact with it in one way or another to help me with my fight against that YouTube algorithm. It'll be greatly appreciated. Of course, I still have one more clip lined up for you guys, and until next video, have a good one, guys.
The school shooting on March 27th was a tragedy like no other. Actually, it wasn't. This happens all the time. The shooter in this event was transgender. I'm going to talk about it, but before I do, I need to make it so clear I am not defending him. What he did was deplorable and gut-wrenching. Even though he was transmasculine, a lot of conservative media outlets have been reporting the shooter as a trans woman. They've even gone so far as to say his actions were a direct result of his gender identity. Let's make it clear. Of 2,860 mass shooters in the last 5 years, 3 of them were transgender. We are not violent. There is nothing wrong with us. Travesties like these are the symptoms of bigger issues. Like, why is there still not an assault weapons ban in this country? It's just absurd to me that people would use this tragedy as an excuse to attack trans people. Trans Day of Visibility is March 31st, and in the face of the absurd amount of transphobia in this country today, here are some things I'll be doing to support and uplift my community. Mercury Stardust and Jory, aka Alluring Skull, are hosting a live stream here on TikTok to raise funds for trans healthcare. I'll be joining around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, but you can join anytime tomorrow evening or all day on the 31st. They are streaming for 30 hours with the goal to raise $1 million for trans healthcare, so please go to Mercury's page and check it out. Also on March 31st, if you're in the New York City area, I encourage you to join myself and a bunch of other amazing trans activists for a march that will start at 5 p.m. in Union Square. I am humbled to be speaking at this event, and we will also be chanting and shouting ferociously for trans rights. Please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and enjoy your Wednesday. I hope you support trans people on this upcoming Trans Day of Visibility.